Loktarg, our friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today was max effort squat day. But a quick reminder, for those of you who watch these videos, please click like down below. It'd be greatly appreciated. And just quick like on my other videos this morning. I would also appreciate that. Today, this was hard. I took an inch out of this box. Now, I had previously been using a 13, then I went to 12 when I came back to box squats. I tried an 11 today, and I've realized I need to work with the 11 because when I'm using that ultra wide stance, you know, it does adjust things. And I noticed it with the straight bar. I'm going to drop down and work with 11 inches for a while. Dear God, this was hard. This is how humbling going to this is, because I already am bad with this bar. Like my best box squat with a 12 inch, I got a 471, which was a 30-pound PR. All right, today I got up to 441. It had been my previous PR off of the higher box. This was a max. I timed it. It was 3.1 seconds. 3.1 second concentric. I almost felt like I wasn't going to make it on the way up. Okay? When you hit a max, you're questioning on the way up if this is going to lock or not. And I did. And then I decided, well, let's go ahead and work with this. Let's just run 80% of that, right? 3x5 with 80% of that. These were hard. I didn't have reps in reserve. Especially the last set, probably the last two sets. It was a case of the very first rep was hard. It's just 351, and that's not a lot. I mean, I've done box work with over 400 pounds for reps with other bars on a higher box. But this is a deep box, 11-inch box. My hips and my middle back were completely fried. I was worried I was not going to be able to do deficit deadlifts because my mid back was hammered so hard from doing this. Actually, after the max, my hips, middle back were just lit up. And again, the middle back because of this bar. But these were hard sets. Like, I felt like at the end of these sets that I could have just hung up for the day and not done anything else, and I would have had a productive workout just off of a max in the 3 work sets. And it's with a lighter weight. But again, we're finding weak links, and it's hitting weak links. And you know, a lot of this stuff I'm using with the box, I'm doing it to get good with the box, get deeper, work the posterior chain. And it's working because even with this lighter weight because of this bar, and we know that the lighter weight with the SSB, based on studies, hits a lot of these muscles just as hard, right? We know they get hit just as hard. But I mean, I squat a lot less, whether it's a box or a back squat with this bar. My best with this bar is 531 on a back squat. Okay, puts in perspective. I'm basically a 600-pound squatter. Not with this bar. So the deep box with it just beat me into the ground in a good way. But I knew that my hips were completely shot, especially doing this wide stance, and that's the big deal with the deep box. The wide stance with the deep box. It's really, really working my hips. And I need to work those hips because I need to be able to squat like this with a power squat. I need to have this sort of stance when I power squat, and I've got to build all my hips up. Have to build them up so that we can do this, so that we can hit some really big numbers on the back squat later with a power squat. Right? Because I haven't even been doing true power squats when I've hit the bigger numbers with the other bars. I haven't been. They haven't been ultra wide. I haven't been pushing all the way back. They've almost been an Olympic style squat. But I get really deep when I go way back like that. So I've got to get in practice of doing that again. That's one of the other reasons I started boxing. The box squatting, you know, instead of back squatting. Again, because I was almost sitting straight down instead of back. And for me, I get better depth when I sit back. And of course, we get more hip involvement. So I've got to build the hips up, and I want to be able to start sumo pulling too. So in the meantime, because my hips still need to build up work capacity and strength, I've just been doing these deep deficit deadlifts. And I decided last time, you know, I went with a challenging but not all out weight. So I'm just going to add from there. I did 425 last time. I put 10 more pounds on for 435. And some people say, Jason, 435 is nothing for you. Well, you're right, except that I'm doing multiple sets of 5 on a very deep deficit. These plates are 2.5 inches. This is a deep deficit. And you guys will notice I'm using the stiff bar. I'm not using a deadlift bar. I want to make these very difficult out of the bottom. I want to build that power out of the bottom, and by doing it repetitively like this, we'll do that. And again, this makes this a better hypertrophy exercise. The conventional deadlift is not a particularly good hypertrophy exercise for reasons we've covered in the past. Deficit deadlifts can be. So again, we run a deep deficit here using the stiff bar. Okay, I have to get a lot more force out of the bottom. We have a much longer range of motion. We're moving some of the joints an extra couple of inches. So all the complaints about the deadlift not being a good hypertrophy exercise start going away when we do stuff like this. And again, I realized at the end of these sets, my middle back was so hammered that I was not going to be able to do good mornings today. Not that I couldn't, it's that I felt like I'm risking pulling something. Yesterday was very hard on the middle back. Okay, because we haven't done chins in a while. I did weighted chins for the first time in a long time, did really heavy pendlay rows, and then we did hang pulls. My back got a lot of work, and then I used that safety bar today. My back just can't take it, and not the low back, it's the whole middle back, right about the base of the rib cage and up. All the way up there, the lower traps, the mid traps, those are just crushed today for me. And I think it's that combination of hitting new angles again on the upper body day and then using that safety bar. So I don't want to risk pulling something on a good morning. So I decided, well, let's come in and just do one good set of glute ham raises with a heavy weight. So I grabbed a 25 and I'm on that hard setting, which I can do, I can do 20 reps on the hard setting with body weight. But my God, every rep of this was hard and they were not pretty. But my hamstrings got subjected to a new angle with a heavy weight, because again, I'm not going to do the good mornings and I'm going to do a bunch of high reps with the glute ham raises. I wanted to just come in and get one really good set with a heavy weight. And this is basically a 5 rep max for me. I could not have done a 6 rep. Form was breaking down even with those. And keeping in mind that the hamstrings get worked really hard on deficit deadlifts. One of the better hamstring exercises out there is a deep deficit deadlift. So again, making sure that all got work, but my hips and middle back were already destroyed. In fact, I even felt my hips did not even like these reverse hypers today. They're like, what are you doing to us? We don't need to do any more work. So we did 500 pounds for 4 sets of 25. I wanted to try to get a 5th set, but I decided, look, I probably don't want to grab a 5th set because I did those heavy glute ham raises. I've got to do a Skype here this afternoon. One of my clients needed an update. I'm going to have to be sitting at my desk for an hour. I don't want to risk the hamstring cramps. Sometimes less is more. I'm in a calorie deficit at the moment. I need to watch my training volume. In fact, I've realized I've got to adjust some stuff on my upper days. I might need to even pull that closed grip bench and just go with the JM press again. I don't have the work capacity, I don't think, to recover from it. But my triceps need the work. So again, we've got to be very careful with what we do. We've got to pick and choose. And so I'm trying to get very, very, very effective movements. Get as much out of it possible with a moderate amount of volume. Okay, and that's going to be the name of the game for a bit. But again, it works. We're well above the minimum volumes we need to stimulate hypertrophy. Everything is fairly heavy, good workload. And I'm being very selective in my movements, though, to get the most out of them. Again, stuff like, let's do really deep box squats, right? And it'll build up some weak points. Do deficit deadlifts. And of course, I've been doing lots of good mornings other than today. But again, I'm trying to be effective. I need to get the most out of every set. I need every set to be optimized, since I'm going to do not tons of volume. And so people commented in the last lower workout where I had the good mornings too. They're like, your workout today was brutal. And it was brutal. I was beat up after it, especially after some detraining, because I hadn't trained the week before due to a deload. I was actually really sore the next day. I had serious DOMs on Wednesday after that Tuesday lower workout. So something that was a little easier, I don't know that it's really easier. We didn't use as much weight because we didn't do over 400 pound good mornings and over 400 pound box squats because of the bar being used. So weight wise it's easier, so hopefully I'm not as beat up, but in terms of just perceived exertion, a lot of these lifts were very, very hard today. And again, the deep box, I need to do that for a while. I think it'll bring out a new performance element and bring up some old areas that are lagging, that I have muscle memory in, to bring them back up, get my whole strength base broader, right? I think it'll be a good thing. I think it'll be a very good thing. So I basically just opted for 4 sets of this today instead of trying to push for a fifth because I had DOMs and cramping on Tuesday. I don't want that again today. I don't want that again today. I'm gonna have to do a lot of sitting. I have a bunch of Skype scheduled tomorrow too. I have one scheduled today. It's just better if I don't get cramps at this point. This was a very effective workout without doing a fifth set. So I'm really happy with it. Very humbled by that lift on the 11-inch box. It was very humbling. And for anyone who says, well, I don't think it should be that hard, well, you try it. Go get on an 11-inch box and box squat with a safety bar and see what you get. It'll probably be over 100 pounds less than you can squat. Just tell it like it is, brother. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.